Chosen one. Heaven has pressed pause on everything else so you can hear this. Nothing about this moment is random. You didn't just stumble upon these words. You were divinely led here, summoned by the whisper of eternity that said, "Listen before it happens." You've felt the stirring, haven't you? That deep pull in your spirit, that restlessness that no sleep can cure. It is not anxiety, it's divine anticipation. Heaven is about to interrupt your ordinary reality. Listen carefully, because in the next 90 minutes, something will shift in the unseen realm. While others scroll past, unaware of what is stirring, you have been hand-picked to hear this call. This is not coincidence. This is divine interception. You have been marked for awareness, for awakening, for assignment. The message is clear: you are not like the rest. You were never meant to blend in. You've carried battles that others would have collapsed under. Every sleepless night, every tear that fell unseen, it was all recorded in heaven's archives. And now, heaven is responding. There's an urgency in the spirit, a holy echo that says, "Rise, chosen one. Your time has come." The weight of this moment cannot be overstated. Heaven's attention is turned toward you because destiny demands your response. You stand at the intersection of purpose and preparation, and God is calling you to stop running, stop doubting, and finally step into the life that was written for you long before you were born. You might think, why me? But that question is answered in the heart of God Himself. You are not here by chance. You are a vessel chosen to carry light in a darkened generation. Your voice carries frequency. Your obedience carries power. And your presence carries impact. You've wondered why certain doors shut, why certain people walked away, why you were isolated when all you wanted was connection. The truth is, heaven hid you to reveal you at the appointed time. And so, this moment is sacred. It is holy ground disguised as a digital encounter. As you hear these words, the Spirit of God moves through time and technology to reach your heart directly. He is saying, be still. Stop trying to figure out everything. Just listen. As was spoken in the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Be silent before the one who reigns forever. Those words are not just ancient, they are alive. They carry the same authority now that they did when first spoken. The command is not passive, it is a divine directive. Be still. That means stop panicking, stop overthinking, stop assuming you are forgotten. Know that He is God. That means trust that He is in control, even when the evidence says otherwise. You see, being chosen does not mean being comfortable. It means being refined. Every storm you faced was not to break you, but to reveal your endurance. Every betrayal was not to destroy your heart, but to detach you from those who could not go where you're going. The next 90 minutes of your awareness will set the tone for your next 9 months of transformation. Heaven is releasing instruction, warning, and preparation. Something unseen is moving toward the earth shifts in nations, systems, and hearts, and God wants His chosen ones alert, anchored, and ready. So hear this not as content, but as a commissioning. You are part of a divine rollout, a hidden army of light bearers rising in the middle of global confusion. You are being reawakened because there is something assigned to your hands that only you can build. Don't allow distraction to steal this moment. Turn your attention fully toward what heaven is revealing. If there was ever a time to open your spirit, it's now. Because when divine messages are ignored, opportunities are delayed. But when divine messages are received, destinies accelerate. Look at how far you've come. You have endured what should have ended you. You have risen from places that felt final. That resilience was never accidental, it was prophetic training. Heaven was preparing your heart for the sound of this moment. So breathe. Chosen one. Let peace replace panic. Let purpose replace confusion. You are being reintroduced to the real you, the version heaven wrote before the world wounded you. You have been under construction by divine design, and what looked like delay was actually protection. Do not underestimate what can shift in one moment of obedience. Even now, the Spirit of God hovers over your situation, waiting for your response. Type 777 in the comments as a prophetic act that you receive this message and align yourself with divine timing. This is not superstition, it's symbolic obedience. It means completion, divine order, and spiritual awakening. Heaven is watching who responds, who believes, who acts. This is your moment. Like, share, and subscribe not for vanity, but to stay connected to the frequency of divine revelation that flows through this space. Each time you do, you're not just clicking, you're declaring that you are part of a remnant refusing to sleep while heaven speaks. Chosen one, now that the call has reached you, let the truth begin to sink into your heart. You were never random. You were never an accident of time or chance. Every detail of your existence carries divine precision. Your arrival on this earth was not a coincidence, it was an assignment. Even before you took your first breath, the blueprint of your life was already drawn in heaven. Look back on the years that shaped you, the moments that broke you, the seasons that confused you, the people who came and left. Each one carried hidden instruction. What looked like abandonment was redirection. What felt like delay was protection. The chaos you endured wasn't chaos at all, it was construction. Heaven was building you, brick by brick, prayer by prayer, tear by tear. You've asked, why does everything feel so heavy for me? It's because your spirit was crafted for deeper things. The weight you feel is the mark of those chosen to carry revelation. You have been entrusted with sensitivity others can't comprehend, what they call weakness. Heaven calls discernment. What they dismiss as overthinking, heaven calls prophetic awareness. You've been designed to feel the spiritual tremors before they become visible earthquakes. And now, your spirit is awakening to that truth. The confusion is lifting, the fog is clearing, and you're beginning to see that none of it was wasted. The heartbreaks, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the dreams that took longer than expected. Heaven was orchestrating divine alignment, not giving denial. When your path seemed uncertain, you were never walking alone. Invisible hands guided your steps through every valley. You were seen when you felt invisible, protected when you felt exposed, loved when you felt forgotten. The ancient voice of Scripture breaks through the noise of doubt and reminds you of your worth. The apostle wrote in the letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 29, "For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son." That means you were not an afterthought, you were foreknown. Before the world saw you, God recognized you. He didn't just watch your formation, he ordained your transformation. Every event in your timeline has been working toward the fulfillment of that divine image within you. You are being shaped to resemble heaven's intent on earth. Chosen one, destiny was written into your DNA. The longing in your heart for purpose is not ambition, it's memory. Your spirit remembers what heaven assigned you to do. That's why you've never been content with mediocrity. That's why you've always felt different. Your difference is not a defect, it's your distinction. Others may chase comfort, but you crave calling. Others may look for recognition, but you seek revelation. That hunger is holy. It is the language of the chosen, the internal reminder that you were made for something eternal. You were never random because your story fits into a much larger narrative. Every test you faced trained your spirit to endure. Every tear watered the ground of your destiny. Even the silence of God was not absence, it was instruction. In those quiet nights when you begged for answers, heaven was teaching you how to trust what you could not trace. You are now stepping into a stage of awareness where you will begin to see divine fingerprints all over your journey. Suddenly, things that once hurt will make sense. The people who left made space for those who will carry you further. The closed doors protected you from counterfeit blessings. The long wait was not punishment, it was preparation. The moment you realize this, peace begins to flow where frustration once lived. You no longer see yourself as a victim of life, but as a vessel of destiny. You understand that your existence is not about survival, it's about assignment. And when you live from that revelation, even the storms serve you. There is something sacred about knowing you were seen before you were born. It gives weight to your choices. It means your obedience matters, your voice matters, your presence carries divine consequence. Heaven invests heavily in those it calls chosen. You have been refined for responsibility. The world may not understand you. People may misinterpret your silence or your fire. But heaven never misunderstands you. The one who wrote your name in his book knows exactly why he formed you this way. Every contrast, every paradox in your personality serves a purpose. You are both gentle and bold, humble yet unshakable. That combination is intentional. It's what makes you unstoppable when you walk in divine alignment. Soon, you will see why the wait was worth it. The vision will clarify, the purpose will solidify, and you will understand that what once felt random was exact. Heaven is not improvising, it is fulfilling. Chosen one, do you feel it, the shaking beneath the surface of your life, that trembling you can't quite name, that tension between what was and what is coming? You're not unstable. You're not falling apart. You are being shifted. The shaking before the shift always feels like chaos, but in heaven's language, it is calibration. God is aligning every detail of your life with divine timing, and the tremors you sense are simply the movement of purpose underneath your feet. You've been sensing something changing for a while now. Things that used to satisfy you no longer do. Conversations that once excited you feel hollow. The people around you may not understand it, but your spirit does. It knows transition has begun. Heaven is repositioning you for revelation. What you're feeling isn't punishment, it's preparation. There's a sacred restlessness that comes right before elevation. It's as if heaven shakes everything that can be shaken, so only what's unshakable remains. The familiar begins to crumble, not to destroy you, but to reveal your foundation. The shaking exposes what can no longer support your destiny. Old mindsets, expired habits, emotional attachments, they're being dismantled so the new can be built. This is not a breakdown. This is a breaking open. You are shedding layers of old identity so that your true design can breathe. You might feel disoriented, like you've lost control. But you're not meant to control this stage, you're meant to surrender to it. The shaking is heaven's way of saying, I'm doing something new, and you cannot carry the old into it. As the prophet wrote in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 26. Yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. Those words aren't about destruction, they're about divine movement. Heaven shakes things when it's time to reveal truth. When the earth trembles, the false foundations fall away, and what is eternal remains. If your life feels unstable right now, it's because God is removing everything that cannot stand the weight of what's coming. You prayed for increase, but increase requires inspection. Before God adds, He always subtracts. Every shaking has a purpose. Sometimes, it exposes what we've been leaning on instead of Him. It reveals idols we didn't know we had: approval, comfort, predictability. God loves you too much to let you build your identity on anything temporary. He will allow discomfort to deliver you from deception. You may ask, why does it hurt? Because the things being removed were once part of you. You invested your heart, your time, your loyalty. But not everything you built was meant to last forever. Some seasons are scaffolding, they help you rise, but they're not the structure. Once the building is strong enough, the scaffolding must come down. That's what's happening now. Heaven is taking down what helped you once but would hinder you now. The shaking can also expose your strength. You are discovering parts of yourself you never knew existed: resilience, courage, discernment, endurance. You're learning that storms don't break you, they reveal you. The winds that once terrified you now only confirm that you're rooted deeper than before. Chosen one, remember this: the shaking is not punishment, it's prophecy. It means heaven has you on its radar. It means you're close to the unveiling of something long promised. When the earth beneath your feet quakes, don't run, anchor deeper. Stand still long enough to let the process finish. Don't rush out of what God is trying to refine in you. You are being prepared for stability in a world about to tremble. The systems of man will shake, but the foundations of the chosen will stand firm. The economy may falter, relationships may shift, but those who are anchored in divine truth will not collapse. You are one of them, so instead of asking, when will it stop, begin to ask, Lord, what are you revealing? Because revelation is always the reward of endurance. If you can stay steady through the shaking, you will emerge with clarity that others only dream of. There will come a day soon when you'll look back at this moment and realize it was necessary. You'll see how every uncertainty led you closer to divine order. You'll see that what felt like loss was actually liberation. Heaven was freeing you from what couldn't go where you're going. This is your training ground for trust. Every chosen one must learn how to stand when everything else moves. You are being equipped with spiritual equilibrium. When the next wave of shaking comes, you will not be moved by fear, you will move by faith. Right now, declare it in your spirit, I am unshaken. And if this word resonates deep within your soul, write these 3 words in the comments: I stand firm. Those 3 words are more than a phrase. They are a prophetic declaration. By writing them, you align yourself with the reality of heaven's stability. You're saying, though everything around me trembles, I remain anchored. It's a symbolic act of agreement, a visible mark of inner conviction. Angels take note of obedience in small acts like this. When you declare your stance, you solidify your strength. The shaking will pass, but what's built after it will last. Let your faith not be in circumstances, but in the one who commands them. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. Chosen one. There is a reason the opposition has been so strategic lately. The darkness has studied you. It has observed your patterns, your prayers, your moments of weakness, and your bursts of faith. Every attempt to discourage you has been a calculated effort to derail destiny. But heaven wants you to know the enemy's strategy is now being exposed. You've been walking through battles that felt strangely personal. The pressure has been precise, almost surgical. It's because the enemy never wastes his energy on the unthreatening. He fights those who carry light. If the attacks against you have been intense, it's because your influence in the spirit is expanding. The darkness fears what you're about to become. The adversary has always known that if he cannot destroy you, he will try to distract you. He doesn't need you to fall. He just needs you to delay. Distraction is his favorite disguise. It looks harmless, but it drains your focus. Every time you fixate on fear, comparison, or regret, you are feeding what is meant to fade. The strategy of darkness is not always loud. Sometimes it is disguised as busyness, fatigue, or endless scrolling through the noise of the world. The Spirit is training your discernment. No longer will you walk blindly into snares disguised as blessings. You are learning to recognize peace as your compass. If something costs you your peace, it was never meant for you. That inner stillness is heaven's signal that you are aligned. When it vanishes, pay attention. The enemy hides in haste, but God speaks through stillness. As was written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11. For we are not ignorant of his devices. Those words remind you that spiritual awareness is your weapon. To be chosen is to be watchful. You cannot afford to drift through life unaware of the invisible wars shaping your reality. You are not fighting flesh and blood, you are confronting unseen systems, generational patterns, and spiritual resistances that fear your awakening. The darkness has long relied on your distraction, but when you awaken, his power weakens. The moment you see the manipulation, it loses its hold. That is why revelation is dangerous to the enemy. It exposes him. He used to whisper, "You are not enough." But now you know that your worth is not measured by what you do, but by who called you. He used to tell you you are alone, but you now sense the presence of angels surrounding you even in silence. He used to tell you nothing is changing. But now you realize that stillness often means heaven is working beneath the surface. You are entering a new level of awareness where discernment becomes your protection. You will begin to see patterns before they form. You will sense deception before it speaks. The more you grow in truth, the less effective darkness becomes. The light of understanding terrifies the enemy more than your loudest prayer. For once you understand his tactics, you no longer cooperate with them. And so, when attacks come, do not panic. Look deeper. Ask, what is this trying to distract me from? Because every battle has a hidden purpose to pull your eyes away from what truly matters. But now you are learning to remain focused. You are no longer reacting. You are responding. You are no longer surviving. You are strategizing. Remember this truth: the enemy cannot curse what God has blessed. He can only confuse what you do not understand. That's why clarity is your greatest weapon. When you know who you are, the war changes. Fear loses its language. You are being equipped, not overwhelmed. You are not the victim of attacks, you are the student of warfare. God is teaching your hands to fight and your heart to discern. Every trial has been a classroom. Every delay has been a test. You are graduating from reaction into revelation. Soon you will no longer flinch at spiritual warfare. You will function through it. You will speak with authority because you will know the source of your strength. You will carry peace in chaos because you will understand that no weapon formed against you ever succeeds unless you surrender. Chosen one. Lift your eyes. The storm you've been in is not about destruction. It's about discovery. God is revealing what was hidden both in the world and within you. You are becoming spiritually sharp, emotionally steady, and mentally guarded. You no longer fear what lurks in the shadows, because the light in you reveals it before it strikes. What once intimidated you will soon bow before you. The same pressure that once paralyzed you will become the platform that proves your endurance. You are not losing control, you are gaining clarity. The enemy's strategy is now exposed. You are no longer the target. You are the threat. Chosen one. Can you hear it, the quiet sound in the distance, like a trumpet buried beneath layers of noise? It's faint but persistent, echoing through your spirit even as the world tries to drown it out. That sound is not imagination. It is the summoning. Heaven is calling your name again, softly but firmly, as if to remind you that purpose still waits. You've wandered through confusion, carried burdens heavier than your shoulders were built to bear. Yet somehow your heart keeps listening for that tone. That is the melody of destiny. It never fades, only grows clearer when you finally stop running from it. There comes a moment in every chosen life when the call cannot be ignored any longer. It shakes the walls of distraction and whispers, "It's time." Maybe you hear it in the quiet moments before dawn, when the world still sleeps but your soul is restless. Maybe it's in the music that moves you to tears, or in the silence between prayers where you feel seen but can't explain why. However it comes, it is sacred. The sound of summoning is heaven's invitation to step fully into who you were meant to be. The scriptures remind us of this reality, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 14. Many are called, but few are chosen. Those words aren't meant to exclude, they're meant to awaken. The call goes out to many, but only a few dare to answer. You, chosen one, are one of the few who stopped long enough to listen. The sound reached your heart, and now heaven leans closer, waiting for your yes. But here is the truth. The Spirit wants you to understand answering the call isn't about perfection, it's about participation. Heaven does not need flawless vessels. It needs willing ones. You may feel unqualified, but every prophet once felt the same. Moses stuttered, David was overlooked, Esther was afraid. Yet each one responded when their moment came. The sound of summoning does not ask, "Are you ready?" It declares, "You were born ready." Still, many miss it because they are too distracted to hear. The noise of modern life, the endless scrolling, the comparison, the fear of failure becomes louder than the call of heaven. The world sells counterfeit voices that promise purpose but only deliver exhaustion. But you, chosen one, were made for deeper frequencies. Imagine your life as a lighthouse standing in a storm. The waves crash, the wind howls, and yet the light must keep shining. That light is your obedience, your presence, your willingness to keep going. When you shine, others lost at sea can find their way home. That's what your calling is, not just survival, but guidance. You don't realize how many watch your light, how many are waiting for your courage to awaken their own. There is something sacred about walking in purpose. It changes how you see everything. Suddenly, the ordinary becomes holy. The conversations you have, the work you do, even the pain you endure, all of it begins to serve a higher pattern. The more you walk in calling, the less you chase validation, because you realize you are already commissioned by heaven itself. And yet, even the chosen must be reminded no one fulfills destiny alone. The greatest callings are built on connection, on community, like sparks that gather to form a flame. We strengthen one another. That's why this space exists, to keep the light burning, to remind each other that we are not forgotten. If these words have stirred something within you, if the sound of summoning resonates in your spirit, let your response be visible. Support the flow of what heaven is doing here. Like this message, not for numbers, but as a sign that you agree with its truth. Share it, not for attention, but so that another wandering soul might find their own call again. And if you feel led, consider giving not as payment, but as partnership. When you sow into light, you help it reach further. Every offering, whether through prayer, words, or donation, becomes a seed that multiplies hope. You're not funding content, you're fueling a movement of awakening. Subscription too is not just a click. It's a declaration: I choose to stay connected to what strengthens my spirit. When you stay close to the flow, your heart stays tuned to the right frequency. Together, we build something larger than ourselves, a lighthouse network in a darkening world. You see, even Jesus had supporters who held up his ministry so that the message could continue. Heaven always moves through willing hands. When you give, you don't lose, you extend. You expand the circle of light so that others too may hear the sound of summoning for themselves. Chosen one, you are part of something holy. The call is not just for you, it is through you. Others will find their purpose because you decided to say yes. So let your actions echo your awakening. Share the light. Keep it burning. Let heaven see that when the call sounded, you answered. The trumpet still echoes. The sound still calls. And your yes still changes everything. Chosen one, there is something sacred about this moment. You are standing at the edge of divine timing on the threshold of what heaven calls the appointed window. Every chosen one experiences it, a season where time feels strange, accelerated, fragile. It's as if eternity leans closer to the earth, and the smallest decision carries eternal weight. That's where you are right now. This is the 90-minute window of destiny, not a literal countdown on a clock, but a prophetic measure of urgency. Heaven has placed before you an opening, a divine interval where obedience carries multiplied impact. In these moments, the veil between heaven and earth thins, and what you decide determines what unfolds next. It's not meant to scare you, but to awaken you. Think about the patterns in your life lately, the sudden restlessness, the repeated signs, the dreams that seem more vivid, the sense that something unseen is trying to get your attention. None of it is coincidence. The Spirit is stirring because the time for decision has arrived. God is saying, move now, while the gates are open. You've prayed for direction, and now direction has found you. You've asked for clarity, and heaven responds through this word act while the window is open. According to the Apostles' words in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 2, now is the time of God's favor, now is the day of salvation. Think of Noah building the ark before the first raindrop, or Abraham walking toward a land he'd never seen. They acted in divine timing, not human reasoning. What they built in faith sustained generations. What you do now will shape the chapters that follow you. This moment is a seed, small, but sacred. The spiritual realm is watching your response. Heaven takes note when obedience rises from uncertainty. Angels record the yes whispered in faith. That is how destiny moves forward, one surrender at a time. Alone, you might say, but I don't feel ready. None of us ever do. The call of God rarely waits for comfort. It finds us trembling, unsure, yet still breathing courage into our weakness. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. There's a reason this word reaches you now. Heaven knew this would be the hour your spirit was quiet enough to listen. The timing of this encounter was not algorithmic, it was divine. You are here because the window is open and your name is being spoken in heavenly places. The signs have been surrounding you for days, repeating numbers, recurring dreams, a stirring you couldn't explain. All of them are invitations. This is not superstition, it's synchronization. Heaven speaks through patterns when it wants your attention. So, chosen one, if your spirit bears witness, take a simple act of faith. Type 111 in the comments as your sign of agreement. Those 3 digits are not random, they carry meaning. 1 represents alignment. 3 ones together signify complete unity with divine will. It's the number of oneness, the reminder that heaven, spirit, and destiny are converging over your life. When you type 111, you're not playing with symbols, you're declaring, I'm in alignment with heaven's timing. Do it as a prophetic act, a way to anchor your obedience in visible form. Every small response echoes in the spirit. You're saying, I choose to step into the new. Because, make no mistake, delay is a decision too. To ignore what heaven is showing you is to quietly say not yet to destiny. But not yet often becomes never. That's why heaven speaks urgently, because the window will not stay open forever. You are being called to courage. Courage to leave the familiar, to step into the uncertain, to trust that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. The window you stand in is designed for transformation. What you release now, fear, doubt, hesitation, creates room for what God wants to pour in next. The Spirit whispers, do not waste this time. Do not underestimate what one obedient moment can unlock. Soon, what you've been praying for will require movement, not words. Faith must have feet. Heaven will not delay forever, it is waiting on your action. The 90-minute window is a metaphor for spiritual urgency, a call to awaken before the world distracts you back to sleep. Chosen one, lift your eyes. Heaven is leaning close. The wind of change is stirring, the door is open, and time itself bows to divine command. Step forward. Say yes. Align your heart, your voice, your choices with what heaven is revealing. This is your window. Don't just watch it, walk through it. Chosen one, there will come a time in every believer's life when heaven goes silent. The prayers that once felt alive seem to echo back empty. The scriptures you once read with tears now feel like ink on paper. You look for signs, but the sky stays still. You listen for answers, but all you hear is your own heartbeat. That silence is not abandonment, it is divine instruction. When God hides his voice, and he is not punishing you, he is perfecting your hearing. You see, anyone can believe when the voice is loud, but the mature must learn to trust when the volume fades. The silence of heaven is the classroom of faith. It's where belief becomes muscle, not just memory. You've walked through this season before, the quiet stretch between promise and fulfillment. The tension between God said and it hasn't happened yet. You've wept asking, have you forgotten me? But heaven never forgets what it has spoken. Silence is not a void, it's a process. God often works most deeply when he seems most distant. Think of the seed buried underground. The soil is dark, the air is still, and no sound reaches it. Yet inside that silence, life is expanding. The roots push downward before the stem reaches upward. The seed doesn't hear the rain, but it absorbs it. It doesn't feel the sun, but it prepares for it. That's you. Chosen one. You are in the soil of silence, and God is building something unseen. When heaven tests you with silence, it is because you are trusted with revelation. The silence refines your discernment. It separates noise from necessity. It teaches you that your faith cannot depend on stimulation. If the voice stopped, it's because you've already received enough instruction to move. The teacher doesn't speak during the exam. There's something sacred about being trusted with divine quiet. Heaven does not waste silence on those who will misuse it. You were given this stillness because God believes in your endurance. You've graduated from being led only by emotion to being guided by conviction. You're learning to walk by revelation, not reaction. As was written in the ancient book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, the Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still. Stillness is the hardest obedience. We are taught to fix, to rush, to solve, but heaven says stand. In that standstill, something shifts. The unseen hand of God begins to rearrange circumstances while your mind tries to make sense of them. You are not meant to manage what heaven is already mastering. There will be nights when you feel abandoned, when you search for signs and hear only silence. But remember, silence is not absence, it's preparation. God hides because He's building something so holy it must be shielded from noise. He withholds visibility to preserve value. When your blessing is ready, the silence will break. Consider the long pauses in Scripture. Between the Old and New Testaments, there were 400 years of silence, and then, suddenly, a Savior. Between the crucifixion and the resurrection, there were 3 days of silence, and then an empty tomb. Between your pain and your breakthrough, there may be a stretch of quiet, but then transformation. You are not being ignored. You are being incubated. Heaven is growing something in secret that would die if exposed too soon. Trust the stillness. Let it form patience in you. Let it teach you to listen differently, not for words, but for presence. The presence of God is not always audible, but it is always active. When heaven is quiet, pay attention to creation. The way the morning light touches your window, the way the breeze pauses before it moves, these are whispers. Small reminders that the same hand shaping the world is shaping you. Sometimes the silence of God is the sound of Him speaking to everything around you. He commands the storm to wait, the enemy to retreat, and your heart to rest all in one sacred breath. What you call nothing is heaven reorganizing everything. And when the silence ends, it won't return you to where you were. You will emerge with new vision, new strength, and a quieter confidence. The noise of the world will no longer dictate your peace. You will no longer chase confirmation because you will carry conviction. Chosen one. The silence is proof that God trusts you to stay. Only those rooted in faith can stand when feelings fail. You are learning the rhythm of the divine, not constant noise, but sacred pauses. Every symphony needs silence between its notes. That pause doesn't end the song. It gives it power. So, when heaven is quiet, don't fill the gap with fear, now fill it with faith. Rest in the knowing that your name is still being spoken in heavenly places, even when your ears can't hear it. The silence is your sanctuary. You are not lost in the stillness, you are found in it. Chosen one. There are moments in life when the air itself feels heavy, when you wake with a weight pressing on your chest and the world around you seems to move in slow motion. You've wondered if it's weariness, sadness, or even spiritual exhaustion. But heaven wants you to understand something. This heaviness is not meant to crush you. It is meant to enlarge you. It is the weight of glory. When divine purpose begins to expand within a soul, it presses against every fragile layer of the old self. The pressure you feel is not the end of you, it is the stretching of your capacity. You prayed for greater strength, for greater influence, for deeper revelation. But to carry that, heaven must first strengthen the vessel. The expansion hurts, but it is holy. Imagine a wineskin. Before it can carry new wine on, it must be softened, stretched, made flexible again. If it resists the process, it bursts. But if it yields, it becomes capable of holding the fresh outpouring. That's you, chosen one. The pressure you feel is God's way of making sure you can contain the next level of blessing without breaking. You've been saying, Lord, I can't take much more of this. But heaven answers, yes, you can, because you are not carrying it alone. The weight is distributed through grace. Every tear that falls is not weakness, it's release. You are letting go of what cannot enter your next season. You are shedding the unnecessary so the eternal can remain. The Apostle Paul understood this paradox deeply. According to his words in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. These words hold a mystery. What feels unbearable now will one day be revealed as the very process that produced your brilliance. Pain is not a punishment for the chosen. It is the process of polishing divine gold. The crushing of the olive brings the oil. The pressing of the grape releases the wine. The breaking of the seed awakens the life within it. The weight you feel is not your destruction, it's your extraction. Heaven is drawing out what has always been hidden inside you. You've carried invisible battles. You've smiled when your heart trembled, encouraged others while you silently bled. You thought nobody saw the nights you whispered prayers through tears, but heaven recorded everyone. The wait has been long. The waiting longer, but this pressure is prophetic. It means something is about to be born through you. Every chosen one goes through this transformation. Before the crown comes the crushing. Before the glory comes the groaning. Even Christ himself was a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. The weight you carry connects you to him. You share in his suffering so you might share in his strength. Sometimes the heaviest seasons are also the most fruitful. You just can't see the fruit yet because it grows underground. Roots always deepen before branches stretch upward. Right now, heaven is anchoring you deeper in faith, in humility, in endurance. When the time comes for you to rise, you will not be easily moved. You might think, why me? Why do I carry so much? Because not everyone is built for divine responsibility. God measures weight according to capacity. He will never place on you what he hasn't already strengthened you to bear. You have been chosen for high assignments, and high callings come with heavy coverings. Even creation responds to your endurance. The unseen realm watches how you carry what others would have dropped. The endurance of one chosen heart can shift entire atmospheres. Every time you choose to praise in pain, the heavens open wider. Every time you keep standing when you could have surrendered, light pierces another layer of darkness. So do not despise the weight. It's shaping your spirit into something resilient, refined, radiant. When the pressure lifts, you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive, you transformed. You will carry authority that cannot be learned from books or sermons. It is forged only through endurance. And though no one else may understand it, heaven does. The angels who watch over you whisper, "This one endures for glory." The cloud of witnesses leans closer, cheering you through the final stretch of refining fire. Soon, this heaviness will shift. You will wake one morning and feel light again. Not because the battle's ended, but because your shoulders grew stronger. You will carry peace that makes no sense to the world. You will walk through storms without losing your song. That's what the weight of glory does. It doesn't remove the burden, it transforms the bearer. So breathe, chosen one, let the stretching continue. Every heartbeat, every tear, every prayer whispered in the dark is preparing you for something radiant. What feels heavy now will soon become holy testimony. Hold steady under the weight. The glory is nearer than you think. Chosen one, do you understand now why the battles have been so fierce? Why certain seasons felt like survival more than living? It wasn't because you were weak. It was because your anointing is dangerous. The darkness studies you, not because you're broken, but because you carry something that disrupts its order. You don't just exist in this world, you disturb what hides within it. Every chosen soul carries a frequency that irritates the enemy. Your presence alone, without even speaking, causes agitation in the unseen realm. That's why the attacks often appear without warning. That's why you've been misunderstood by those who can't perceive the spiritual weight you carry. The darkness knows what you are becoming, even when you don't. You have walked through trials that would have silenced others. You've stood in storms that tore at your peace, yet you did not crumble. What you didn't realize was that every battle you faced trained your authority. Each time you resisted despair, your spirit grew sharper. Each time you forgave when you could have retaliated, your light intensified. And light, pure light, terrifies the shadows. The spiritual realm recognizes hierarchy. Authority is not given by title but by endurance. You now carry an authority earned through tears, forged in silence, tested in fire. Heaven trusts you because you've proven unshakable. The darkness fears you because you've proven unstoppable. As it was written in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5. The light shines, darkness surrounds it, yet darkness cannot overcome the light. It still shines. Those words aren't a distant declaration. They are a living prophecy over you. The light within you cannot be overtaken. The only way the enemy can win is if you surrender your brilliance to despair. That's why he attacks your confidence, your joy, your hope. But you must remember, darkness is not stronger than light. It only thrives in your silence. Chosen one, you were never made to hide. Your existence is divine defiance. Every act of kindness you show, every truth you speak, every time you choose love over anger, it shakes the gates of hell. You are heaven's rebellion against corruption, a walking miracle clothed in mortal form. The fire that burns in you is the same fire that once rested on the prophets. There's a reason your spirit feels things others overlook. You sense tension before it manifests. You walk into rooms and feel atmospheres shift. That's not sensitivity, it's spiritual radar. You are designed to discern so that you can protect. When others fall into confusion, you bring clarity. When they panic, your calm becomes command. You've been attacked not because you are weak, but because you are marked. The enemy doesn't invest in battles he's already won. The warfare around you is proof of your purpose. The deeper your impact, the more intense your opposition. But even now, heaven whispers, do not be afraid. God has given you authority to tread upon serpents and to silence storms. Your words carry weight. Your prayers shift the unseen. Even your presence, when anchored in peace, changes spiritual weather. You are not waiting for power, you already have it. The shaking that once terrified you now trembles before you. You are learning to walk in awareness. The darkness no longer confuses you because you have learned its patterns. It repeats the same tricks: fear, fatigue, distraction, doubt. But you've seen through them now. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer crumble, you command. And so the Spirit says, rise in your awareness. Take your place in authority. The world needs your light now more than ever. Do not underestimate what happens when one illuminated soul walks boldly through a dark world. You become a mirror of heaven. You reflect divine truth in places that forgot what truth looks like. The time has come to stop apologizing for your power. You were never meant to fit in quietly. You were born to walk loudly in grace. When you enter a room, darkness should feel uncomfortable. Not because of arrogance, but because of anointing. Chosen one, it's time to declare your stance. If your spirit feels this fire rising within you, then let it be known. Type these words in the comments: I carry fire. 3 simple words, Khan, but heaven recognizes them as declaration. When you write them, you're not performing for others, you're proclaiming alignment. You're saying, I accept who I am in God. I refuse to dim my light to make darkness comfortable. The act itself carries prophetic significance. It's a public yes to your purpose. You see, the enemy thrives in secrecy. But the moment light is declared, chains begin to break. When you confess truth out loud, it manifests in power. I carry fire as more than a phrase, its identity revealed. Fire consumes what cannot remain and illuminates what has been hidden. That is what your life does now. Your light is no longer small. It is spreading, growing, igniting others. And no darkness, no lie, no loss, no attack can extinguish what heaven has kindled. You are not just surviving the storm, you are changing its direction. Chosen one, you have come to the threshold, the sacred place between what has been and what will be. It's the point where destiny demands a decision. The ground feels different here. Time seems slower, heavier. You sense that one more step forward will cost you something, but it will also crown you with everything you've prayed for. This is the moment heaven calls the choice at the threshold. The Spirit has brought you far, through storms that stripped away the unnecessary, through silences that deepened your roots, through refining fires that made you luminous. But now, heaven is waiting for your yes. Not the half-hearted yes that speaks from convenience, but the surrendered yes that changes everything. In front of you lies a door that only obedience can open. You've knocked long enough. Now it's time to turn the handle. You already carry the key. It's faith. The door will respond to your courage, not your comfort. The ancient words written in the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15, echo through eternity. Choose this day. Decide whom you serve. Make your stand now. Let your heart choose. Serve the Lord. The call is clear. Not tomorrow, not when the storm calms. This day. Because indecision delays destiny. You cannot hold the old and grasp the new. Heaven requires clean hands and a steady heart. Look around your life. The signs are everywhere, the shift in your relationships, the stirring in your spirit, the dreams that have been calling louder each night. You've outgrown certain environments. You've matured beyond familiar fears. And now, you stand before a divine crossing. The question is no longer will God move, but will you move with him? The threshold is holy because it demands trust. Imagine standing on a bridge made of light, unable to see what's beyond the mist. The bridge will hold, but only when you step. That's what faith looks like right now. Heaven is saying, step, and the path will appear. Sometimes the greatest act of obedience is not running ahead, but releasing what's behind. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means making space for the new. You cannot carry yesterday's weight into tomorrow's calling. The baggage of doubt, fear, resentment, it all must be laid down. If this message stirs something inside you, let it be more than reflection, let it become participation. When a message from heaven reaches your spirit, it's like a candle being lit. But candles burn brighter when joined with others. Share this light, like this message, not for the sake of visibility, but as an act of agreement. You're saying, yes, I see the door. Yes, I am ready to walk through. And when you share, you're not spreading mere words, you're sending torches into other dark corners where weary souls still wait. You're helping heaven reach hearts that might otherwise stay asleep. Subscribing here is not just about connection, it's about continuation. It's choosing to stay near the flame that keeps you aligned. Every message is another ember, keeping your faith alive when the world grows cold. Stay close to the fire that feeds your spirit. And to those who feel a deeper pull, an invitation to support, listen closely. Giving is never about transaction. It's about transformation. Think of it like sowing a seed in fertile soil. When you donate, you're not just giving to a platform, you're planting into purpose. Every seed you sow helps this message reach further. Helps light find more hearts, helps heaven's whisper echo in new places. Just as rivers don't drink their own water, this flow was never meant to end with you. You are part of a cycle: grace received, grace released. When you give, you are keeping the current alive. You can imagine it like helping build a bridge for others. Some are still standing where you once stood, afraid to cross. Your generosity lays down planks of hope beneath their feet. You become the unseen architect of someone else's breakthrough. And if all you can offer right now is prayer, let it be sincere. Every whispered prayer is a currency heaven values. Every word of blessing, every act of sharing it all keeps the oil flowing. Remember, the threshold is both invitation and test. Heaven watches not for perfection, but for participation. Will you step through? Will you say yes when everything familiar begs you to stay? The other side holds clarity, peace, and strength beyond imagination. When the chosen decide, heaven responds. The sound of your yes reverberates through eternity. Doors open, chains fall, generations shift. The ripple of your obedience will touch lives you may never meet, yet heaven will record every outcome. So, chosen one, take a deep breath. The threshold awaits. Cross it not with fear, but with faith. Carry your flame and walk forward. Heaven walks with you. And as you do, keep the fire burning for yourself, for others, for the world that still waits to awaken. Like, share, subscribe, and if your heart feels led, give not to me, but through me, to the work of heaven. Every act of faith fuels the flame. Now step, the light is waiting. Chosen one, do you know what happens when you finally cross the line of surrender? Heaven begins to send help, not the kind of help that arrives with fanfare or lightning, but quiet, precise, supernatural assistance designed just for you. These are not coincidences, they are angels on assignment. For most of your journey, you have felt like you've been walking alone, fighting unseen wars, enduring pressures you could never quite explain to anyone. Yet all along, heaven has had watchers beside you, and they stood guard when you were unaware, whispering courage when your strength faltered, deflecting harm that never reached your eyes. The silence of your survival was not luck, it was protection. There are days when you should have fallen apart, when your mind should have broken under the strain, but somehow you found clarity. That somehow was not you, it was them. They stood near, unseen, yet profoundly active. Angels do not announce themselves, they operate through alignment. When your life bends toward divine will, heaven assigns reinforcements. You may have felt a sudden urge to stop your car, then later learned an accident happened on that very road. Or perhaps you were inexplicably delayed one morning, only to find the delay saved you from danger. These are not coincidences, they are signatures of protection. Every chosen life is surrounded by divine strategy. The psalmist once wrote in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, "He will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Those ancient words are still alive. They are not metaphor, but movement. When God assigns an angel to a chosen one, that assignment becomes eternal until the mission is complete. You are under watch, holy watch. The unseen realm has your name written upon its orders. Sometimes, angels strengthen without words. The sudden peace that settles in the middle of chaos. The inexplicable energy after nights of weeping, these are the gentle fingerprints of celestial hands. They do not always change circumstances, but they always fortify courage. Their presence does not remove the fire. It ensures you walk through it without being consumed. You are never truly outnumbered. Even when enemies surround you, heaven surrounds them. The prophet Elisha once prayed that his servants' eyes would open. And when they did, the young man saw chariots of fire encircling them on every side. The same reality exists for you now. If spiritual eyes could see, you would never again fear the dark. Your story carries weight, and with weight comes watchmen. Angels are not ornamental beings. They are divine soldiers, messengers, healers, and recorders. Some carry swords of light. Others carry scrolls of instruction. Some war on your behalf, while others whisper divine reminders into your conscience. When you sense conviction just before a wrong decision, that is often the brush of an angel's wing steering you back. Even in grief, they attend you. When loved ones depart, heaven's servants escort their spirits home. When the living mourn, those same messengers minister comfort in the quiet spaces of your heart. You may not feel them, but they move through the stillness, bringing strength where words cannot reach. Chosen one. This is not fantasy. It is the fabric of faith. The spiritual world is more structured than the physical, more precise than any system man has built. Every chosen soul is surrounded by order, protection in motion. And yes, angels rejoice over you. They celebrate your endurance, your obedience, your worship. Each time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, gratitude over complaint, they record it as victory. Heaven counts not only your prayers, but your perseverance. There will be moments when you feel a presence near, soft, radiant, almost electric. Don't be afraid. Simply acknowledge it. I know you're here. Angels respond to awareness. They strengthen those who honor their assignment. Gratitude opens their flow, while fear or neglect dulls spiritual sensitivity. But remember, while they guard you, they also guide you back to the one who sent them. Their loyalty is to God, and their mission is your alignment with Him. They are escorts, not replacements. Right now, as you read these words, an unseen circle surrounds you. In your room, your workplace, your journey light stands watch. If you could see beyond the veil, you'd realize you've never walked alone for a single heartbeat. Every close call, every narrow escape, every peaceful night after chaos, all evidence that heaven never abandoned you. So breathe, chosen one. Rest in the assurance that your path is guarded. The terrain may shift, but your protection does not. The orders over your life have not expired. The angels assigned to you have not left their post. You are surrounded by witnesses, shielded by flame, and accompanied by grace. Walk forward knowing that every step is covered, every breath accounted for, and every battle monitored by heaven's command. The angels are still on assignment, and they will not fail. Chosen one. There is something sacred happening around you right now, something invisible but undeniable. Heaven is drawing a line, sealing what belongs to it, marking the ones who have endured, obeyed, and refused to give up even when faith was painful. This is the sealing of the chosen. It's not about pride or separation from others. It's about protection and purpose. When God seals something, He claims ownership. He says, "This one is mine. No counterfeit may touch them." The seal is not a physical mark, it's an atmosphere, a spiritual signature that darkness can recognize from a distance. You might not see it, but the unseen world does. That is why certain attacks have suddenly stopped without explanation. Heaven intervened because your seal was activated. You are stepping into a stage of divine distinction. You've carried the tests, you've proven the endurance, and now heaven responds with identification. This seal will not just guard you, it will reveal you. There are doors that only open to marked ones, and you are about to see those doors swing wide. The voice of Revelation speaks about such moments. It was written in the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 3. Do not harm the earth or the sea or the trees until we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads. When heaven seals you, you become untouchable in areas that once wounded you. Old temptations lose power. Old battles lose appeal. Your spirit develops immunity against the manipulations that once pulled you under. The seal changes not just your protection, but your perception. You begin to discern things faster, hear clearer, and see deeper. You recognize false peace for what it is and are no longer seduced by distractions wearing holy disguises. Chosen one. You've been feeling this shift already. You've noticed how certain conversations suddenly feel heavy. How certain environments no longer fit you. It's not arrogance, it's upgrade. You are being recoded for kingdom function. What used to entertain you now grieves you. What once intimidated you now bores you. That's how you know heaven's seal is settling over you. The sealing is also a commissioning. When heaven marks you, it sends you. It's not just protection, it's purpose. You become a carrier of divine frequency, a walking portal through which grace flows. That's why some people feel peace around you without knowing why. That's why children or strangers are drawn to your presence. You emit something unseen, something clean. And yes, this seal comes with responsibility. Heaven entrusts more to those who bear its mark. It's why you can't live like everyone else. It's why shortcuts no longer satisfy you. You are called to accuracy. Your obedience now carries influence beyond yourself. You may not wear a crown yet, but you already carry the weight of one. You are sealed for service, not status, not. Heaven doesn't mark people to make them superior. It marks them to make them available. Available to heal, to guide, to intercede, to love. The seal is the permission slip for divine assignments. But here's the beautiful paradox: even as heaven seals you, it still invites your agreement. God will never mark what you refuse to surrender. The seal is not forced, it's accepted, and that acceptance requires awareness. So if this message resonates within your spirit, if you feel the stirring of recognition deep in your soul, acknowledge it with a sign of agreement. Type 444 in the comments below. The number 4 has long been associated with creation, foundation, and divine order. In repeating form, it represents stability multiplied, heaven's establishment on earth. When you write 444, you are declaring, I receive the seal of alignment. I welcome heaven's order into my life. This is not superstition, it's symbolism, a visible echo of invisible obedience. Every prophetic act carries sound in the spirit. When you publicly agree, you activate heaven's witness. You become part of a remnant that chooses alignment over convenience. Chosen one. This sealing is not only about protection from what's coming, it's about preparation for what's next. The world will tremble, but those sealed in obedience will shine. You are one of those lamps heaven refuses to let go dark. Soon, you will notice divine confirmation. Unexpected peace, delays that protect, encounters that redirect. These are signs that the seal is active. Heaven does not leave its chosen ones uncovered. Lift your head. You carry a mark the world cannot erase. You have been sealed not with ink, but with intention. Not by law, but by love. The blood that redeemed you has now become the ink that writes your destiny. Chosen one. Every family carries stories, some told, some hidden, some buried so deeply that generations forget the original wound. But heaven remembers. There are patterns that move through bloodlines like invisible rivers, shaping temperaments, repeating choices, creating echoes that outlive their origin. And there comes a time when God says, enough. That time is now. And you are the one He has chosen to break the cycle. This is not about blaming the past. It's about healing what history left unfinished. The same way light can travel through generations, so can shadow, bitterness passed as tradition, fear disguised as wisdom, poverty justified as humility, silence mistaken for peace. But heaven looks at you and says, "This ends here." You've already felt it, the tension of living differently, the discomfort of thinking beyond what those before you accepted. That pressure isn't rebellion, it's redemption. You are not rejecting your bloodline, you are rewriting it. Heaven is using you as a pen to write a new chapter in an ancient book. You were never chosen to repeat what was familiar. You were chosen to restore what was lost. There are blessings that have been locked away for decades, waiting for someone in your lineage to walk in enough awareness to claim them. You are that key. Every generation carries a gatekeeper, someone who steps out of the inherited pattern and chooses alignment with heaven instead of the repetition of pain. When you pray differently, love differently, forgive differently, you are not just changing your life, you are changing your lineage. The chains that held your ancestors begin to dissolve in your obedience. As the prophet Isaiah wrote in the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 27, "The anointing breaks the yoke. The yoke is not always visible. Sometimes it looks like chronic fear, a cycle of broken relationships, or the silent heaviness that lingers no matter how much you achieve. But the anointing, heaven's presence within you, shatters it. You don't have to wrestle it into submission. You only have to walk in awareness of your authority. The moment you understand who you are, the chain can no longer claim you. Your warfare has always been generational. The enemy doesn't waste energy on random targets. He fights lineages that carry light. That's why your life has felt more intense than others. You're not just fighting your battles, you're undoing patterns older than your name. The storms you face were never personal, they were prophetic. Heaven trusted you to confront what others could not. The anger that ran unchecked through fathers and sons. The shame that silenced the women. The poverty mindset that strangled possibility. The self-doubt that made faith look foolish. You are not cursed, you are called to correct. Breaking generational patterns is rarely dramatic. Sometimes it looks like small decisions, choosing forgiveness where resentment was tradition, choosing prayer instead of gossip, choosing truth instead of silence. Each decision may feel insignificant, but in the spirit it resounds like thunder. Angels take note, darkness retreats. The enemy hoped you would repeat what you inherited, but heaven planned that you would repair it instead. You are the hinge generation, the one where everything changes direction. It's not easy. The old patterns will whisper that you are betraying your family. They will call your peace pride, your boundaries distance, your healing disrespect. But you are not betraying your roots. You are watering them with truth so that something new can grow. Even your pain serves a purpose. When you feel the ache of old wounds resurfacing, don't resist it. Healing doesn't come by denial, it comes by revelation. The Spirit is showing you where the cracks have been so the light can enter. You cannot cast out what you refuse to confront. But once confronted, darkness has no defense. Understand this, you are not the product of your family's past. You are the promise of its future. The prayers your great-grandmother whispered but never saw, answered, they are being fulfilled through you. The dreams your grandfather carried but couldn't manifest, they are waiting for your hands. You are the harvest of prayers sown by those who only saw darkness but believed in dawn. Heaven chose you not because you were the most perfect, but because you were the most willing. God saw the courage in your heart, the stubborn hope that refused to die even when everything else did. You carry both the ache of the past and the anointing for the future. That combination makes you dangerous to every curse and indispensable to every promise. When you walk in freedom, the chains on others start to rattle. Your obedience creates permission for deliverance in your entire bloodline. What you conquer privately will echo publicly through generations. Chosen one, you are standing in the middle of a spiritual intersection between the old and the new. Behind you are generations longing for closure. Before you are generations waiting for blessing. You are the bridge between both. Hold the line. Don't shrink back when it hurts. The pressure you feel is the sound of curses collapsing. The heaviness that visits is the weight of history being rewritten. Every prayer you speak is chiseling your family name into a new story, one not defined by pain but by power. Chosen one, when the time of breaking has passed and the dust begins to settle, something sacred happens, authority transfers. The pain you've endured becomes currency in the spirit, and heaven places a new mantle upon your shoulders. This is not a metaphor, it is an exchange. Every trial has earned you weight and glory. Every act of obedience has carved room for more presence, and now you carry what once carried others, the mantle of divine authority. You may not feel different yet, but heaven knows. Angels see it. Darkness senses it. You have been promoted quietly, not with ceremony, but with spiritual substance. The journey that humbled you has now crowned you. Where once you sought direction, now you are direction. Where once you asked for guidance, now you are guidance to those still finding their way. Mantles are not gifts to decorate the chosen, they are responsibilities to sustain the mission. They hold the fragrance of every tear you've shed, every night you refuse to give up. A mantle is not something you wear for display, it's something you carry for destiny. It carries memory, weight, and instruction. As was written in the second book of Kings, chapter 2, verse 13. And Elijah's mantle fell upon Elisha. That single sentence describes a moment that changed generations. Elijah's mantle did not fall on accident, it landed by design. It found Elisha, the one who had followed faithfully, served quietly, and refused to abandon the journey even when it grew difficult. Heaven always transfers power through proximity. You are receiving this mantle because you stayed when others left. You endured when others escaped. The mantle carries more than authority, it carries continuation. It means heaven's work does not end, it evolves. Elijah's fire did not die with him, it multiplied in Elisha. The same is true for you. The power that once inspired you will now move through you. The same spirit that called others before you is now resting upon your life, not to repeat their story, but to extend it. This new weight will require wisdom. Mantles amplify what's inside the vessel. If pride remains, it becomes dangerous. If humility reigns, it becomes unstoppable. That is why heaven never releases power before character is proven. The fire you walked through wasn't punishment, it was purification. Only refined hearts can handle released authority. You may feel unqualified, wondering, who am I to carry something this holy? But remember, Elisha was not the loudest prophet. He was the most faithful. Heaven does not choose the impressive, it chooses the obedient. The same spirit that clothed Elijah with boldness now clothes you with purpose. You carry a fire that will outlast fear. Every mantle carries memory. The authority resting on you carries the prayers of others, the mentors who poured into you, the ancestors who interceded without seeing the harvest. When you speak, echoes of their faith ripple through your words. You are not a new story. You are the next chapter. You'll notice changes soon, not in fame or fortune, but in impact. People will begin to find peace simply by standing near you. Conversations will shift when you enter the room. Environments will respond differently to your voice. That's what happens when someone truly carries mantle authority. The atmosphere adjusts to accommodate heaven's order. But remember, mantles attract warfare. The moment authority rises, opposition awakens. Just as Elijah faced Jezebel and Elisha confronted deception, so will you face resistance meant to test what you carry. Do not fear it. The mantle that rests upon you was forged for battle. You are no longer the one praying for help, you are now the one through whom help is sent. Guard this mantle carefully. Protect it through purity. Nurture it through prayer and sustain it through rest. Overexposure can drain anointing, and distraction can dull discernment. Mantles thrive in stillness, where the Spirit can whisper direction. This authority is not for spectacle, it's for service. You will lay hands on what is broken, and wholeness will respond. You will speak into confusion, and clarity will rise. You will walk into chaos, and order will unfold like light through shadow. But do not mistake the results for your own strength. It is the mantle moving through you. Chosen one, understand this: your obedience has made you a vessel of divine continuity. What once inspired you is now your inheritance. You carry more than favor, you carry function. The same fire that once refined you now rests upon you as authority. So walk carefully but confidently. Speak with humility but with power. The mantle is not fragile, it is faithful. It will not slip from your shoulders as long as you walk in reverence. Every word you speak under its covering carries creative power. Every act of compassion releases heaven's fragrance. There will come a day when this same mantle will pass again to another soul who watches you as you once watched others. And when it does, may it fall heavier, brighter, and wider than before. That is the sign of a true successor, not replication, but multiplication. Chosen one. Every story reaches a point where everything you've learned must be tested in one defining moment, the final confrontation. This is where faith stops being theory and becomes your reality. Heaven doesn't bring you here to see you fall. It brings you here to reveal who you've become. You've spent years growing roots in silence, enduring trials that felt endless. And now all of heaven watches as you stand between light and shadow, unshaken. This confrontation is not always external. Sometimes it happens inside the soul, in the clash between doubt and destiny, fear and faith, surrender and self-preservation. You've come too far to turn back. The storm that once terrified you now recognizes your command. You don't realize it yet, but you've already won half the battle simply by refusing to quit. The ancient prophecy recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall ever prosper or prevail in battle. The Lord defends you." Those words have outlived empires. They still ring true today. Weapons will form, they always do, but they will not finish their work. You are too deeply anchored, too heavily guarded. Heaven itself enforces that promise. Every arrow that flies your way is intercepted before it reaches its target. Think of this season as the refining fire before the unveiling. Gold isn't shaped by comfort but by heat. The flame doesn't destroy, it purifies. Every challenge you face now is heaven's way of polishing your spirit until you reflect divine radiance. You are learning to wield peace like a sword and compassion like a shield. Sometimes, the final confrontation looks like silence from those you helped most, or betrayal from those you trusted deeply. It feels like a breaking, but in truth, it is a birthing. The pain is labor, not loss. Heaven is pushing you into visibility. The resistance you face is confirmation that your next chapter is near. Chosen one, understand this: the greatest battles arrive just before the greatest revelation. That's why everything feels more intense lately. The air around you hums with unseen movement. The adversary always panics before exposure. You are moments away from manifestation. But as you step into this final stretch, remember that no chosen one walks alone. Every voice, every prayer, every word of encouragement exchanged between believers becomes a thread that weaves strength through the remnant. That's why community matters. So, if this message resonates with you, if you can feel that familiar stirring of recognition deep inside, take a moment to respond. Like this message as a sign of agreement, not as an act of routine. Each like is a flame added to the collective fire that keeps this message of awakening alive. When you share it, imagine you're releasing light into dark corridors where someone else is still fighting unseen wars. Your act of sharing becomes a lantern in another soul's night. You may never meet the person whose hope you reignite, but heaven will record it. And when you subscribe, you're not just following, you're aligning. You're saying, I want to stay near the voice that keeps my spirit awake. It's a small act in the digital world, but it has deep spiritual resonance. It keeps you tethered to truth in a landscape built to distract. If you feel led, consider giving not as obligation but as participation. Donations are like drops of oil that keep the lamp burning. They sustain the creation of spaces like this, sanctuaries of stillness in a noisy world. When you give, you're building more than content. You're building continuity. You're helping these words reach hearts across nations, across languages, across despair. Picture it this way: when you support light, you're feeding a network of unseen wings. Every offering becomes wind beneath the message, carrying it further than we could imagine. Your generosity doesn't vanish, it multiplies. Even your comments matter. They aren't just words, they're testimonies. When you write, others read and realize they are not alone. You create community in the comment section, a digital altar where faith meets faith, where weary souls find confirmation that they, too, are chosen. So leave your reflection below. Write what resonated, speak what healed, testify what changed. Your words might be the answer to someone's silent prayer. And to you, chosen one, who has stayed through every message, every revelation, thank you. Your faithfulness here mirrors your faithfulness to heaven's call. You are part of something far greater than algorithms or screen. You are part of a movement of light bearers, rising quietly but powerfully across the earth. The final confrontation is not about destruction, it's about definition. It will not expose your weakness, it will reveal your weight. You are stepping into the final refinement before release, and when the dust settles, you will not be the same. You will walk differently, speak differently, carry differently. Let the world see the reflection of heaven through your endurance. Like share, subscribe, support. Each act fuels the mission. But more importantly, keep your flame burning. Others will find their light through yours. Chosen one. Something extraordinary is unfolding not just within you, but across the world. The shaking that once seemed chaotic is now revealing its true purpose. It was never meant to destroy, it was meant to awaken. From every corner of the earth, others like you are stirring, sensing the same pull in their spirit, hearing the same whisper echoing across dimensions. The scattered are gathering. The remnant is awakening. This awakening isn't loud or political. It doesn't march with banners or demand attention. It moves quietly, like dawn spreading over a sleeping world. You might not see it on the news, but you feel it in the air, the slow rise of holy consciousness. The collective remembering of who we truly are. The chosen ones are hearing heaven's rhythm again. The Spirit of God is assembling His remnant the way a conductor gathers instruments before a symphony. Every sound, every voice, every gift matters. Each person carries a distinct tone. But when united under divine direction, the harmony becomes unstoppable. The awakening of the chosen is not about superiority, it's about synchronization. Heaven is aligning hearts across nations, generations, and cultures into one pulse of purpose. You can feel it, can't you? The acceleration, the sense that everything sacred is speeding up. Prayers answered faster, insights coming clearer, encounters increasing in frequency. It's because heaven has shifted from preparation to performance. What has been built in secret is now being revealed in sequence, as was written in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light, light for the world. A city exalted high, set on a hill, it cannot be hidden. That call is not to a single person, it is to a collective body. The you in that verse is plural. It speaks to a generation that refuses to hide any longer. It is heaven's rallying cry for those who have been purified by pain, taught by stillness, and transformed through endurance. This awakening will not look like religion as you've known it. It will not gather around walls, but around waves, waves of truth, creativity, compassion, and conviction. It will move through art, science, words, music, technology, and conversation. Every field where darkness once reigned will now host light bearers. The line between sacred and secular will dissolve, because heaven never saw such a divide to begin with. The awakening is relational. It's people rediscovering each other not through status or doctrine, but through shared purpose. It's hearts recognizing familiar fire in other hearts. When one chosen soul finds another, something in both awakens deeper. Iron sharpens iron, and light amplifies light. Even now, alliances are forming invisibly. People meeting by chance, conversations that feel prophetic, collaborations that seem effortless. These are heaven's orchestrations. Divine timing is linking destinies that were written to converge for this very era. The world may grow darker, but the remnant will grow brighter. This is the paradox of glory. It always shines best against contrast. Do not fear the decline of systems. Their collapse makes room for new creation. Every fallen structure clears ground for builders of light. That is you. That is us. The awakening of the remnant will not always be comfortable. It demands accountability, maturity, and unity. The days of scattered spirituality are ending. The Spirit is calling for alignment, not isolation. You were never meant to carry this alone. Every chosen one has a place in the mosaic of heaven's design. The painter sees the full picture, even if we each hold only a fragment of color. Soon, you will find yourself surrounded by others whose eyes carry the same recognition, whose hearts beat to the same rhythm. You will feel less like a wanderer and more like a soldier returning home. Together you will speak the same language of light, a language not of words, but of resonance. This collective awakening will shift atmospheres. The despair that once seemed immovable will begin to thin. Even nature responds when the chosen rise. The earth groans for alignment, and when heaven's children remember who they are, creation exhales relief. Rivers, winds, and stars recognize their rightful stewards returning. Chosen one, you are part of something vast, sacred, and unstoppable. This isn't about a single voice or platform. It's about heaven's song spreading through millions of awakened hearts. The same fire that burns in you burns in them. You are not isolated light, you are a spark in a wildfire of glory. So stand firm. You are not a bystander to this awakening. You are a participant, a pillar, a signal. The mantle you carry joins with countless others, creating a network of radiant strength across the planet. The darkness cannot comprehend or contain it. The awakening of the remnant is not coming, it has begun. You are living inside the prophecy. And every breath you take in alignment with purpose becomes part of heaven's movement on earth. Rise, chosen one. Your light has come and you are not shining alone. Chosen one, everything you've walked through, every silence, every storm, every sacred shaking has led to this moment. Heaven never wastes a tear, never forgets a step, never misplaces a promise. What you are standing in now is not confusion, it is culmination. The patterns are aligning, the prophecies converging, the threads of your story weaving into divine symmetry. This is the moment before it happens. You can feel it in your bones. Can't you? The atmosphere has shifted. There's an expectancy hovering over everything familiar, like the air just before rain, thick, charged, waiting to pour. Heaven is holding its breath because obedience on earth is about to release movement in heaven. The unseen is closer than ever. You are seconds away from the unfolding of things long prayed for, long prepared for, long delayed but never denied. The stillness around you isn't emptiness. It's the pause before manifestation. Creation always exhales before breakthrough. Just before dawn, the world grows darker. Just before birth, pain reaches its sharpest point. You are standing in that thin place between almost and arrival, and heaven whispers, "Hold steady, it's happening." This is where many turn back, misreading the tension as trouble. But you, chosen one, have learned to recognize spiritual contractions. You've grown wise enough to know that pressure is not punishment. It's proof that something is about to emerge. The same hand that pressed you down is now lifting you up, as was written in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. You are living inside a revealed plan. Heaven has been unveiling it piece by piece, never in full view, because revelation always matches readiness. What you see now is more than vision, it's verification. You've matured enough to handle what's next. The signals have been subtle but steady. The way certain doors began to open without effort. The way old burdens lost their grip. The way peace began to arrive where panic used to live. These are not coincidences. They're confirmations. Heaven is aligning your reality with your revelation. There will always be a moment right before fulfillment when doubt knocks the loudest. It's the final test of trust. The enemy cannot stop what's coming, so he tries to shake your belief in it. He whispers, "What if you imagined it all, but deep down, your spirit already knows better?" You've seen too many confirmations, felt too many nudges, survived too many impossibilities for this to be chance. The same God who began this work in you is faithful to finish it. What is coming will not arrive through chaos, but through divine choreography. You won't have to force it. You'll just step into it. The path will seem to unfold beneath your feet like a bridge appearing one plank at a time. This is how heaven operates, not through panic, but through precision. You might not understand why certain seasons stretch so long, but when the moment arrives, it will make sense. The detours, the delays, the disappointments, they were all scaffolding for destiny. God built endurance in you so that when the promise arrived, you would have the strength to sustain it. Chosen one, when it happens, whatever it means for your story, it won't come with confusion. Peace will be your proof. Peace is heaven's signature on fulfillment. It will not feel like striving, it will feel like exhale. It will not look like force, it will look like flow. You'll realize that every no was protection. Every closed door was redirection. Every unanswered prayer was preservation until timing matured. What's unfolding now could not have happened earlier. It required your growth, your clarity, your complete surrender. When it happens, don't rush to announce it. Sit with it first. Let gratitude rise before testimony. Let awe anchor you before exposure. The promise is not given to elevate your name, but to magnify His. And even when manifestation comes, the journey won't end, it will expand. Every fulfilled word births a new instruction. Every answered prayer opens a new assignment. Heaven never runs out of purpose. You are entering the season of revelation made visible. Prophecies are stepping out of the page and walking into your reality. Things that once lived in your imagination are taking form in front of you. You will recognize faces you saw in dreams. Walk through doors you only prayed about. Stand in rooms you once thought were unreachable. Do not fear the magnitude of it. Heaven never promotes without preparing. You've been made ready in ways you couldn't see. The breaking, the bending, the waiting, it all built capacity. What once felt like stretching was really strengthening. You now carry the wisdom to steward what's coming. And when it happens, the world around you will finally understand what heaven always knew, that you were chosen not just to survive, but to reveal. You are a living prophecy, a manifestation of divine timing, a vessel of visible glory. Before it happens, there is silence. After it happens, there is awe. But right now, in this in-between, there is faith, and that's where you stand, hand in hand with heaven, waiting for the sound that says, "Now, hold your peace, chosen one." The unseen is already moving toward you. No, you do not chase what is destined. It finds you when you are aligned. Stay still, stay open, stay ready. Because before it happens, heaven always whispers first. Chosen one. Take a deep breath. You've walked through every layer of this divine revelation through silence, shaking, sealing, and awakening, and now you stand complete, not perfect, but prepared. Heaven has written something sacred into your spirit through every word you've just received. The message was never random. It was orchestrated, timed, and delivered for you. Pause and let that truth settle. You are no longer who you were at the beginning of this journey. Something inside you has shifted your awareness, your confidence, your understanding of divine timing. The veil has lifted just a little more, and now you see yourself through heaven's eyes, chosen, equipped, unshakable. As you go forward, let these words echo whenever the noise of the world returns. You are not called to blend in. You are called to burn bright. You are not here by coincidence. You are here by commission. The world needs your light, your voice, your obedience, your faith. If this message has stirred your spirit, don't keep it silent. Like this message as a sign that it reached your heart. Share it so that someone else wandering in the dark might find their way back to hope. Leave a comment, not just words, but reflection. Write what this awakening has meant to you. What chapter spoke loudest? What truth stayed behind after the reading? Your story might become the spark for another soul's revival. And subscribe to stay connected, not to a channel, but to a community of fire bearers rising together. Each message you return for keeps your flame alive. Each shared truth strengthens the network of chosen ones across nations. You are part of something eternal. Carry this light forward. Keep speaking faith. Keep spreading peace and keep standing tall. Heaven is watching and smiling.